My name is Finley Jalen.
And my name is Kimmy Jimmel.
Breaking news! Class wars has caused violence to spark around schools nationwide. In other words, we have a very special and rather tragic event to inform you of. This is the story of two teenage lovers, Romeo and Juliet.
This tragic tale was the result of a long-standing feud between two families in Verona, Italy, the Montagues and the Capulets.
Our two lovers are from each rival family, so it would be presumed that they'd be great enemies, but this is far from the truth.
The affair started on one fateful day. Days before, Romeo was down bad and sad, for he was rejected by his initial love, Rosalie. However, many in the Montague family did not know what was the cause of this sadness, until Benvolio, his cousin, was able to have him confess.
When Benvolio and Romeo helped a Capulet servant read a letter, he learned about a dinner party at the Capulet's house. This gave Benvolio the idea to have Romeo attend the dinner to find another woman.
Although Romeo was only intent at looking at Rosalie, they went to the party with Mercutio. There, Romeo met Juliet, falling in love at first sight.
And the rest is history. However, the grudge between their families prevented them from having a normal relationship, so they secretly married under the pre-service of Friar Lawrence.
All seemed well until tragedy struck.
On the day of the supposed marriage, Benvolio and Mercutio, a friend of Romeo and kinsman to the prince, encountered Tybalt, a member of the Capulet family. Romeo was also found at the scene.
This scene is quite unacceptable here in Verona. Repercussions will be handled accordingly. According to key witnesses, Tybalt tried to provoke a fight with Romeo, but the latter refused. Unsatisfied with Romeo's response, Mercutio provoked a fight with Tybalt. Mercutio was later killed in the fight. Here is where Mercutio supposedly fell after he was stabbed by Tybalt and cursed, "A plague go both your houses." And then over here a few yards is where Romeo killed Tybalt.
Filled with anger caused by his friend's death, Romeo fought and killed Tybalt. Witnesses say Romeo later then fled the scene. According to the prince, he is currently banished from Verona. Back to you.
Although many thought this was the best outcome for Romeo, a certain Juliet did not think so. This strained their already perilous relationship, forcing Romeo to be more careful when he met with Juliet. To add insult to injury, her family arranged a marriage with Paris, a relative of the prince. That was supposed to happen 2 days later.
Juliet wept and fell on her bed and then starts up, blubbering and weeping.
In desperation, Juliet and Friar Lawrence made a daring plan to avoid this marriage. In this plan, Juliet would drink a drug that would put her to sleep, making her seem dead. Once they would see her corpse, they would hold a funeral and bury her in the Capulet family tomb. At the same time, a letter would be sent to Romeo to inform him of the plan. From there, Romeo would break into the Capulet tomb to save Juliet once she wakes up.
So, they go through with the course of action. Juliet drank the drug and fell asleep. Then, her family arranged a funeral and buried her in the family tomb. However, the letter didn't get to Romeo. The messenger in charge of delivering the letter, Friar John, was stuck in a quarantine house.
That wasn't the only thing ruined by quarantine. So once Romeo heard of Juliet's death, he made a plan to kill himself in Juliet's tomb. He and his servant, Balthasar, embarked from Mantua to the Capulet family tomb in Verona, with a bottle of poison and sword in hand.
According to Paris's page, Paris is at the tomb planting flowers in honor of Juliet at the time of Romeo's arrival on the scene. He assumed Romeo was doing an evil deed and called him to a fight. During the scrimmage, Romeo fatally wounded Paris, causing him to die.
It wasn't until half an hour later that the authorities arrived on the scene to investigate the aftermath. Many key observations were found, such as Juliet's bleeding body and bloody ground, prompting the investigators to call the prince, Montagues, and Capulets.
When Friar Lawrence was found near the gravesite, he was interviewed and said this.
You were found with a pickaxe and a shovel a few yards away from the gravesite. What were you doing there and what led up to the scene?
Well, I writ to Romeo that he should hither come as this dire night, to help to take her from her bald grave, being the time the potion's force should cease. But he which bore my letter, free or drawn, stayed by accident. Then all alone at the prefix hour of her waking came I to take her from her kindred vaults, meaning to keep her closely at my cell until I convened the consent to Romeo. But when I came sun minute, ere the time of her waking me, here untimely lay the noble Paris and true Romeo dead. She wakes, and I entreated her to come forth and bear this work of heaven with patience. But then a noise did scare me from the tomb, and she, too desperate, would not go with me, but, as it seems, did violence on herself.
And Romeo's letter, which Balthasar held, confirms Friar Lawrence's account. The letter also contains Romeo's perspective and his plan to kill himself with a bottle of poison in Juliet's tomb.
Once the prince read the letter, he called out the Montagues and Capulets, for this catastrophe of an affair could only be the result of the family feud.
After finally understanding the consequences of their feud, the Montague and Capulet families decide to honor their children by raising gold statues of Romeo and Juliet for all of Verona to see.
And that concludes tonight's programming. Tomorrow night, we'll be covering Shakespeare's newest piece of literature and the controversy surrounding it.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to tune in for tomorrow. Have a good day.